Hudson County View live at Uncut. I'm your host, the guy with the largest arms, the greatest charms, and the words that do the most harm, John Arhitis, with the latest and greatest at Hudson County News. So today, for actually the first time ever in our about 4 years of doing this, I'm going to be doing a bit of a double header. What I mean by that is we're going to skip the recap today. Obviously, we didn't have any guests last week. This week, we have two. First, I'm going to be joined with Jersey City Board of Education President Natalia Ioffe. And this is a timely guest because they just voted on the preliminary $1 billion budget last night. So obviously, we always have a lot to discuss when it comes to budget season at our local Board of Education here in Jersey City. So we're going to talk about that. And also today, I'm fortunate to be joined by Craig Guy. He is the Chief of Staff to current Hudson County Executive Tom DeGise, and he is also a candidate for Hudson County Executive in the June 6th Democratic primary. So we're going to chat with them at length right after this word from our sponsors.
Jersey City Ford Certified Parts and Service, located at Route 440 and Communipaw Ave, is your #1 source for Ford and Lincoln automotive needs. We use certified Ford Motorcraft products to keep your Ford running in top shape. Motorcraft parts are backed with the Ford warranty, which includes a 2-year unlimited mileage guarantee. Our team will have the right Motorcraft part to ensure the best performance from your Ford or Lincoln. You can order in person at the parts counter or online. Let us help keep your Ford or Lincoln in the best shape at Stevens Jersey City Ford.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design studio and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
Hudson County View live at Uncut. John Arhitis. As I mentioned a few moments ago, my first guest today is Jersey City Board of Education President Natalia Ioffe. Natalia, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, John. Thank you so much for having me.
And
like you said, in such a timely fashion.
Yes, we're lucky to have right after the vote. So look, it was another long one, about 4.5 hours, a little more actually, but whatever, 4.5 we could call it. And it's about $1 billion budget. You're looking at a $51 tax decrease for every home assessed at about $470,000. And the tax levy as a whole is up about 27%. I could go on, but you know the budget better than most people, and it passed unanimously on first reading this prelim.
Yes.
So look, it must be a big relief to go into this thing knowing that there's a tax decrease. So with that in mind, tell us just the whole process and how you felt about this product that was in front of you last night.
Absolutely, and I did speak about it last night at the meeting as well. You know, we had a good turnout from the community. Most of them were our educators, but parents as well. And everybody felt very strongly about how, first of all, the fact that it was good to see a fully funded budget, meaning that all the vacancies are accounted for with the expectations that these classrooms can be fully staffed for the coming school year, which is one of the most important things. That the infrastructure repairs are being fully considered in conjunction with the long-range facilities plan that the board has to follow when it comes to prioritizing repairs to our schools and things like that. And even with all of that in mind, there were a lot of efficiencies that were being considered. So we have a new acting business administrator, as you may know, starting from I'm trying to remember exactly when he began with us. I would say summer, like around summer, early fall, Dr. Dennis Fernaffel. And so our journey with him has been, how do we prepare better for this budget season? So as of, I would like to say, like October, September, we started having these conversations. Please, start early. Several audits have been requested. By several, I mean really 2. So in addition to the annual audit, which is being given a lot more scrutiny, the board also approved an operations audit, which looks specifically at compliance and efficiencies, right? If there are any redundancies in the processes that the district is operating on. And so
when do you think that'll be publicly available?
I know that the annual audit should be available within, I want to say, like next month or so. So it was just a question of timing as to how many presentations we have to plan in the coming meetings. And then the operations budget, I want to say optimistically like a month or so, because it's usually in weeks, and I know they're very optimistic, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, so let's just say between 1 and 2 months. But I think that would be very interesting to see. But even though it's not finalized yet, because it's an ongoing process, there are solutions being implemented as the process goes on, right? Interviews are being conducted, departments are being looked at. and things like that. Business office and human resources being one of them. So those are all the things that I think the community was looking for as well, right? You may remember the union, the teachers union president often speaking in the years past saying, you know, trim the fat, look at the administration, look at the central office and things like that. And interestingly enough, one of the reductions that we see in the board's eye view of the budget, which was discussed yesterday and presented to the public, is that there's a $3 million approximately savings in the category of the administration, which includes the central office and the board expenses. So that was a good thing to see, right? So when we are making cuts, we're making cuts and reductions in the areas when it was called for by the community, not, you know, not hurting the classrooms, not hurting the people and things like that. So
last year, you know, it was a close vote. You voted no, and I know you called for more efficiencies in the process, which it seems like you got.
Yes.
So it sounds like it was like night and day. But what do you think was key to making this budget more efficient than last time?
The key, I would say, planning. Right, planning is everything, as far as I'm concerned, and I think that this acting business administrator, you know, he took it very much to heart. The way the board works, in addition to having monthly caucus and board meeting, which is when the public kind of can observe the board at work and in discussions, the board members also partake in the committee meetings, right? So prior to the caucus, we have a week of what's called committee meetings, which are interdepartmental discussions in preparation for the agenda. When the agenda gets put together, that's when, you know, select trustees get assigned to these departments, and so they have those discussions with the department heads, whether it's the business administrator, director of human resources, curriculum, and all these special education, all these different areas. And so through those processes, through those committee meetings, we have been able to provide input and consistently ask questions. Where are we on this? Where are we in the budget planning process? Where are we? And get feedback. Obviously, when it comes to timelines, one of the biggest points on the timeline is the governor's State of the State address, which announces the funding to all the school districts in the state. So not much could be done prior to that moment, and yet, and that's what I think was missing last year, there was a plan, right? Like there was an anticipated cut figure in everybody's, or at least in the BA's mind. And so how do we plan around what we anticipate that we will lose? And I think he did that very well, because he did, you know, he did have a figure in mind that he shared with us as the full board, saying, well, if we lose this much, what can we structure with what we would have left?
All right,
and
Natalia, hold that thought. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants. All major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Hudson County View live at Uncut. John Arhidis still here with Jersey City Board of Education President Natalia Ioffe. So, unlike other years during the pandemic, you guys got kind of flush with cash here. September, the American Rescue Plan, this provision allowed the U.S. Department of Education to give $89 million back to the district, which, you know, obviously they were supposed to have anyway, but again, you guys just haven't had that kind of luck in the past. And then this new bill that State Senators Gopal and Zwicker have put up with the backing of Governor Murphy, cleared through the Senate pretty easily yesterday. $102 million overall, $33.7 million for Jersey City Public Schools. Obviously, that bit hasn't been incorporated to the budget yet. So just your thoughts on these particular instances of funding here.
Well, I wouldn't call it flush with cash. That's for starters. Only because even if you think about the surprise bill, you know, that was sponsored by Senator Gopal, you know, 30 plus million in additional support that comes as a surprise. It's merely a reduction to the pain of 51 million that has just been announced in cut. So it lessens the pain, yes. Does it really make us, flush? Not quite. And so that's why the planning still, was very important. And I also want to, if possible, I want to be able to address the $1 billion, right? It's such an attractive figure. And I'm sure it makes it for a perfect punchline throughout.
It's the biggest
$1
budget
billion
ever. So.
Absolutely. And I'm sure to the average viewer or reader, it's an absolute, shock to see this kind of figures. But I really think it's so important to, to provide a nuanced narrative on what exactly we are working with regard to this amount. So in this $1 billion, there is 168 million that we have to allocate to charter schools, right? So the charter schools, yes, they are public schools, but they are a combination of public and
private.
Not quite, private. They're more flexible in terms of how they're administered and how they're run. And as much as I will always respect, the choice of parents and all different options that our children deserve to have with regard to choices of schools, but at the end of the day, the way that these budgets are created is that the school district or the Board of Education is given certain amounts of money so that they can in turn distribute them to other school entities, in this case being charter schools, local charter schools, and even parochial schools in some instance, right? So what does that really mean? Does that mean that you're really working with $1 billion to put in your classrooms? Not at all. It means that you're working with $1 billion minus 168 million for charter schools, which simply you receive it just to be able to pass it on. And then additionally, there's close to $200 million which are pre-K allocated. What is pre-K? It's early childhood education, 3 and 4-year-olds, state mandated, supported by state and federal monies, and that obviously it's very important because it's part of the law and it does support young children, but that's also the grants that don't really impact the K-12 education, which is the bulk of our responsibility.
So in short,
yes,
the vast majority of the budget is really dollars allocated to the classroom.
Exactly. Out of that $1 billion, close to 40%, it's basically easy come, easy go. You know what I mean? And what remains, that will go to support the K-12, classroom education. So right. I just think it's very important to understand that, and I think that's what most taxpayers, most voters, they don't really receive that information clearly, and I think it's unfair, in terms of how then the school districts and the school boards get judged in the process.
Point taken. And to my original point, if I may, so typically you got the 89 million from the federal government minus the 51 from the state, but then plus 33.7 from the state. I'm just saying that's a better outcome than you've typically been seeing in the past few years. So that was all I was getting at there. So anyway, as far as being treated unfairly, obviously it's no secret you guys have been feuding with City Hall for, I don't know, as long as I can remember, but it definitely was amplified during the pandemic. And now the tables may have turned here. I don't know what the municipal budget's going to look like, but I'm sure we're going to hear a lot of sparring as that comes out. So, I mean, has there been any more collaboration? Has there been any sort of peace treaty here or not really?
Well, if it were up to me, honestly, and I think everything is in our hands and in our power in terms of, once again, setting the narrative and building relationships. And I think that the times as they are changing, perhaps it's time to stop throwing the proverbial stones and the time has come to begin to gather them, right? So one of the big issues that came up in our budget, in our caucus last night in terms of the public commentary was a reminder of the payroll tax existence, right? So that was an initiative by our municipal government in order to support the schools. And it's a mechanism that was created in partnership, right? So our clearest argument in this sense is okay, in order for us to stop sparring over the tax line, right? How much each governing body receives, what portion of the tax bill, why not look at what has been specifically created as an additional mechanism, which is the payroll tax in this case, right? And in the conversations about perfecting the collection mechanisms, making sure that it's working the way it's supposed to, making sure that the estimations of $86 million per year are actually
Coming to fruition.
Precisely, right? Because I will point out that in the last 2 years on the school board's end, that amount has been reduced to kind of a stable 65 million, at least what we have on the books. So
Gotcha.
that's a big difference, right?
It is, absolutely. Madam President, thank you for coming in and joining me.
Thank you
We'll
so much, John.
Chat soon, ladies and
Thank you for
gentlemen.
having me.
Thank you very much for tuning in. We're not done yet. We're going to take a quick break.
Panepinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panepintodevelopment.com. Panepinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Not everyone celebrates the birth of a baby. You have options. Don't panic. New Jersey has safe havens for unwanted infants. Leave the baby with staff at any hospital, ER, police or fire station, or rescue squad. Call the number on your screen for safe haven locations or go to www.njsafehaven.org. No shame, no blame, no names. Safe Haven.
This thing rips! Oh, it is so quick. There's a lot of punch packed into this Bronco Sport. It's got a ton of horsepower. I love it. All right, now we're getting hairy. Now we're getting the fun stuff. Yeah. I like how we can get over or around almost anything.
Yeah, I dig your ride. I super dig it. It's gonna be a good day.
Growing up can be tough on kids. So much is going on in the world that can cause depression or anxiety. Unusual behavior for more than 6 months could mean they need help. Don't wait. For real-time mental health support and counseling, call New Jersey's Children's System of Care. CSOC offers free mental health supports, substance use treatment, and services for intellectual or developmental disabilities for all kids up to age 21. Call now, 1-877-652-7624.
Introducing the all-new Ford Maverick. A truck for people who do stuff. And people who make stuff. People like Gabrielle Union.
I make this look good, don't I?
Who haul whatever they want to wherever they want. Like wood to build things made of wood with. And friends to get weird with. It's for long trips that the standard hybrid engine with a targeted EPA estimated city fuel economy rating of 40 miles per gallon helps with. That an 8-inch touchscreen connects with. And any trip that this interior makes more comfortable. But we'll let Gabrielle tell you all about it.
Or I could just tell them it's a Ford truck that starts at less than $20,000 MSRP.
Yep, that works too. The all-new Ford Maverick, built to defy expectations.
Hudson County View live on Uncut. I'm still your host, John Arhitis, and as advertised, my second guest today is Hudson County Executive Tom DeGise's Chief of Staff, Craig Guy, and he is also a Democratic candidate for Hudson County Executive in this June 6th primary. Craig, thank you for coming in.
No, thank you, John.
So, you've been the Chief of Staff for close to 2 decades now?
Well, actually, since 2016.
Oh, okay.
I've been working with Tom as deputy and started in the end of 2002.
Okay, and that's what Bill Gohan was chief of staff.
Correct.
Okay,
Bill
wasn't
Gohan.
sure.
Yeah.
So, look, you've seen a heck of a lot in the county, mostly from a government standpoint. Of course, a lot of people know you as an operative as well. But what made you decide to take the leap from behind the curtain this time around? Obviously, Tom's retiring, but nonetheless, what made you decide to put your name on the ballot?
With Tom retiring, and it's good. I'm happy for Tom that he's able to retire and enjoy the rest of his life, the rest of his career. I mean, let's face it, Tom has been a public servant since, all the way back to his years in Snyder High School. So for myself, I still feel my life in public service. I'd like to continue that. There's a lot of things that I'd like to continue that Tom has done, and a lot of new things that I'd like to branch off to, if I'm successful in my plight to become the next county executive.
All right, so if elected, what would be one program that you would most like to expand upon in this 4-year term, and what's one program that you'd like to start from scratch in this 4-year term?
Sure. I mean, affordable housing. We, Hudson County, throughout the whole state, housing is an issue. I'd like to work with our commissioners and our state legislators to make Hudson County more affordable. We have done a little personal privilege, from Hudson County. We've provided over $73 million in rental assistance from monies that were secured by our federal legislators, Senator Menendez, Senator Booker. Over $75 million has gone back to the residents of Hudson County for rental assistance. Housing vouchers, Section 8 housing vouchers, where we can help place residents of Hudson County into a affordable housing, that they can live in a very comfortable setting with them and their kids. I'd love to, work with our mayors, throughout the county and see if we can help identify some sites around Hudson that we can consider some more affordable housing.
Now, your opponent, as you may know, in the past few weeks, if not more, has been talking about an affordable housing trust if elected. Do you think that's something that is feasible, something that might work? How do you feel about that?
Anything to increase our leverage with affordable housing, I'm for. I'm not quite sure the trust fund is an avenue that would be successful. I'm a on the ground guy, John, so I'd like to get results quickly. So I think that approach is a possibility, but I also think of going to the state, going to the governor, who's been extremely supportive of myself.
Early, yeah.
I was very grateful to get the Governor Murphy's endorsement. To me, that was a significant endorsement in moving forward in my political career. I've worked with Phil Murphy since 2016, when he was, very strongly considering running for governor. And here we are, 2023, and now, I'm asking for his support, and he was grateful enough to show his support, as well as Senator Menendez and Senator Booker, along with our mayors, which is the most important thing to me. So there's a lot of work that we can be done, and I'm looking forward to the challenge.
All right. So on that point, look, you had your kickoff in the summer. You raised close to $300,000. You've hired a, full throttled campaign team, I think we could call it. Mm-hmm. And look, you have all the advantages over your opponent, and also people are saying it's in the bag. So why are you pushing so hard?
Well, it's not in the bag until usually. I'm a sports fan, and I remember it's not over till the fat lady sings. And that's the way I'm approaching this campaign. I'm out every day. I'm out every night. Wherever it be in the county, whatever mayor is happy to have me or invites me into the town, I'm there. Pressing the flesh. We just finished our petition campaign, and actually we're submitting, myself and the county commissioners today will be submitting their petitions down at the clerk's office. I'm happy to hopefully be officially placed on the ballot. So there's a robust team that I have in place that from day one I approached this campaign. If I'm lucky enough to receive those endorsements, which I have to work now to gain that continued support, both from the mayors and the constituents in Hudson County.
Thanks, Craig. Don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, stay put. We're just going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Jersey City Ford, certified parts and service located at Route 440 and Communipaw Ave, is your #1 source for Ford and Lincoln automotive needs. We use certified Ford Motorcraft products to keep your Ford running in top shape. Motorcraft parts are backed with the Ford warranty, which includes a 2-year unlimited mileage guarantee. Our team will have the right Motorcraft part to ensure the best performance from your Ford or Lincoln. You can order in person at the parts counter or online. Let us help keep your Ford or Lincoln in the best shape at Stevens Jersey City Ford.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Hudson County View live at Uncut. John Arhitis, and I'm still here with the Chief of Staff, the Hudson County Executive Tom DeGise. That's Craig Guy, and he's also a Democratic candidate for Hudson County Executive. So, Craig, there's two things that people have been bringing up that are supporting the other side, right? The one, with something that has been profiled, this 1988 arrest, which later got, I believe it was overturned, right? Or the indictment, I guess, was thrown out?
No, I was never indicted, John.
Was it a complaint, was it?
It was
by
a complaint. It was a complaint. No indictment ever took place.
Okay, so by criminal complaint, and it ended up being tossed eventually, right? So, people are saying when there's smoke, there's fire and all that stuff, to some extent anyway. But look, when you look back on it, what do you see and what do you recall?
It was a tough part of my life, and I was very happy, that it was resolved in the way it was. There was no criminal indictment. Everybody is entitled to their day in court, as they say. I got mine, and the courts and the judges and the judge provided that there was no evidence to lead to any indictment. So I've moved on.
Fair enough. And they just said insufficient evidence? Was that essentially?
No, not even. It was dismissed.
Dismissed. Okay. Now, the other thing that's more current is we're talking about these mailers that say, contact the chief of staff, and there's a picture of you, and it's, paid for by the county, and they're saying this is at best an unfair use of county resources, and at worst, this is some sort of ELEC or, campaign violation. So how do you read that situation?
Well, first, it's not an elect violation. We were very conscious of all the elect laws that cover the state of New Jersey. I'm happy to say, that Tom DeGise in 20 some odd years never had one violation of his elect in violation of elect laws. And I too would like to carry that mantra and not violate and have my folks violate any part of that. I'm happy to say, John, that with that flyer, thousands people have responded to the rental assistance program, people emailing, people calling my office, people showing up at my office to say thank you and how do I advance to the next step. To me, that program, that flyer, that mail has produced a host of people that we can help. And that's why I'm in this governmental political world. I want to help. And to me, if I can help one person, I'm happy. If I can help 100, if I can help 1,000, I'm happy. So as far as the flyer goes, I think it was meant, and it proved that it was there to help people, and that's what it's doing.
All All right, so you feel like this was pure government outreach, nothing to do with politics?
I 100% feel that way because of and like I said, the thousands of people that we've helped so far.
Okay. All right, so now, when you're talking about the primary, obviously there's a lot of people on this ballot. You have all our county commissioner candidates, many of which are incumbents, and then, we had some shakeups in our legislative district. So, I guess you're kind of like the captain of the ship to some extent, right? A lot of people are looking to you to help organize this whole ballot. Would that be fair to say?
That's fair. That's correct. I'm proud of the people that I'll be running with. From our state senators, who's a harder worker than Senator Stack? Who's a harder worker than Brian Stack? We have incoming, with hopes of being elected as a senator, Raj Mukherjee. Angela McKnight, with the experience that she has, down in Trenton, will now hopefully be elected as a state senator. And if you look across our whole ticket, John, you will see one of the most diverse tickets in the state. Whether it be the state legislators or the commissioners themselves. I'm proud to be saying that I'm running with Senator Stack, Mukherjee, and McKnight.
All right, fair enough. And how about on the county level? Looks like almost all incumbents, with the exception of Bob Basilis. So, your thoughts on those guys that you're going to be working with probably daily, right? And girls, of course.
I've been working with these girls, ladies and gentlemen, since day one when I started this campaign, and I've asked every one of these folks that are on that ticket if they want to work hard. I'm more than happy to help them. I would like them to help the whole ticket, and we are a team. I mean, we've gotten together, John, several times already as a team. And every one of those commissioners, state legislators are pushing like they're 20 points behind.
Very good. And any closing thoughts before we let you run?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy. I'm a lifelong public servant, and I'd like to continue my public service, to the residents of Hudson County. There's so much we can do. I'm a proponent of education, with the community college and the school's technology, affordable housing. Crime, to the extent that the sheriff's office can help the municipalities with that. These are all Vision Zero. I'm real proud of our Vision Zero program, Smart Cities program, that is going to be a new adventure that we're embarking on.
Actually, you just reminded me real quick, where do you stand on bike lanes in terms of county roads?
Bike lanes, I'm supportive where they make sense. Along with Senator Stack, are in support. I know we have some requests on Patterson Plank Road. Where it makes sense, we're doing a refurbishment project there now, and our engineers were instructed to do a study to make sure that they take a good look at that section, County Road, to see if bike lanes make sense. And once that project is near completion, we'll come back to it and see if we can make sense of bicycle lanes. I think where it makes sense, I'm a proponent.
Very good. Craig, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you, John. Thanks for having me again.
You're very welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in. It was a different approach to this show, and I think everything went well, knock on wood. We'll see you next week.